this is my shop such that it is, and I'm working on a scale model of a 31.5 foot cruiser. It's a raised deck cruiser, and I've got my profile there. I ended up making a bunch of these because I had to destroy the first one in order to transfer the line, so I ended up making 6 duplicates in case I had to do something different. I've got over here, I've got my shear profile that I use as my template, and I've got my chine profile that I use as a template. And the first thing I did with all of these was to etch it onto a board about the size of the model. And if you look at the back, you see I've showed twin screws. One of the purposes of this boat is to cruise the Great Loop. It's trailerable. It'll cruise the Great Loop, and much of the Great Loop is a low speed cruise, like 5 miles an hour. Well, I reasoned that a 40 horsepower engine would produce the 5 or so horsepower required more efficiently than a 90 horsepower would. I tell you, this model really makes the lines come alive. And when you look and sight down the model and you see the lines, it's almost like standing on the deck. It's quite beautiful. But I got a couple of concerns. The first one that started nagging at me was I believe that this vessel is designed for protected waters, and as such, the main floor in the main part of the deck, main floor here, underneath here, probably right along in here somewhere, that main floor might not be self-draining to the sea, and in the event that a wave came over the stern or the side and filled the deck up with water, when the vessel recovered, it would remain swamped unless it is self-draining to the sea, which would be, the deck would be above the water line and would have scuppers allowing the water to exit. So that is one of the concerns I have. The second concern deals with the motor, the 2 motors in the back. The original design calls for the motors in a well and in a protected well, but when they're in the stowed position, they you have to open the cover. That is undesirable in my application. So raising the shear and raising the floor here probably would resolve both of those issues, and then it would also give me some added cabin height up here. So I think I'm going to end up having to make a mock-up of the space, of the forward cabin space, just to see how cramped it really is. But right now I'm thinking about raising the shear, which really means drawing the whole boat almost. But when I redid this contour here, I maintained all of the correct dimensions on the original drawing to about this point, and then all the rest of the drawings and all of the drawings from here forward in the shear and the chine are all elongated by a ratio of 39 to 36. So these points are not elongated. These points, I wanted to maintain that same profile. So I was able to do that and had a nice clean line about it. The boat really does have a clean line. Try to get a good angle on it, but I'm quite. Yep, broke a glue seam there. The boat looks fast just looking at it. It looks sleek, but I'm seriously considering raising a chine to address this issue, the floor drain, and a little headroom. So that's where I'm going to go with that. One miracle at a time. Talk to you later.